goddamn, I need IPA.
This is Beering Ain't Easy, your podcast for beer humor, dad humor, and beer tastings from Texas and beyond. So crack one if you got one and turn it up.
Welcome to Beering Ain't Easy, episode 32 with Adam and Drew.
All right. So today we're going to combine two topics that could be not further away from each other. And those two topics are kids sports and the Brash Brewing Company out of Houston, Texas.
Dun, dun, dun.
So on the kids sports front, Adam and I have our kids in sports for the first time. And so we're going to go through our takeaways from that world. But first, let's talk beer.
Oh, we're talking beer first?
We're going to talk
I was
beer.
going to throw a shot first.
Just throw a shot.
So my kid is that first draft pick, super athletic, and your kid is just a try-hard kid.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to monitor each other's kids to really determine who's got the athletic genes in the family. But more to come on that, because I want to talk about beer first.
All right, let's do it.
First, I want to talk about the Brash Brewing Company, because what's unique about them is you take all the other breweries out in the world that have these new fads that they get on. They're super bubbly and kid friendly. And then there's Brash, which goes completely opposite. They're like oil and water with the rest of the brewing world.
Yeah, everything you envision with a brewery, Brash is the exact opposite of that. It's like a deep, dark secret is how I would describe their brewery setup.
That's awesome. And I love them and I love their beers and they're super unique. But there's just some weird stuff we got to talk about first.
Yeah, and weird is really the perfect way to describe it.
Do you want to describe going to their tap room? Bob Ross that shit.
Okay. So I'm gonna come in hot. I'm not gonna let up. So if there was ever a brewery that I feel like I could be murdered at, it would be Brash Brewing.
A ritual murder.
A ritual. And they might put me in the beer afterwards. It's this big warehouse. They play loud, heavy metal music. They have old school arcade games. They make just absolutely outstanding beer. And then for whatever reason, I feel like the most of the times I've been there have been in August and July, and god damn, it is hot.
So no air conditioning in Houston. It's not a good combo.
No air conditioning, without any outdoor misters or good.
You're just right in the elements.
Yeah, it's like they're just saying if you come to our brewery, you better want the fucking beer. And there's always a lot of people there.
Yeah, because their beer is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's some of the best beer in
it's
Houston.
it's just a statement. It's
they're nonconformists.
Yeah, this is what it's going to be. Come or go.
Yeah.
But if you don't come, you're not getting our beer.
So I think there's only one other brewery that has the same uniqueness. You have to go to Brash because it's so different from everything else. You just have to go to experience it. Otherwise, you don't get the full experience. But the only other place I've been that was similar was we were visiting Tampa, and we were at Angry Chair, and you walked in and they had these weird horror movies playing on the walls, and just similar type of really dark, awesome beers, but just a weird vibe. And so Brash has got that going on. They've also got, they got the metal vibe, but then they've also got it's the Satanist vibe too, They've got a beer called Black Masses, for Christ's sake. Oh my God. And on the heat topic, because one of the things that they do really well, they make awesome Imperial stouts. They make awesome milk stouts. And so when I go, I always want to get the heavy stuff. So when you're in the middle of August and you're drinking that and you're just sweating out 14% ABV stouts, it's just, it's brutal.
It's dark brown sweat is rolling off my face. It's I'm sweating out oil.
So given that awesome description you gave, have you ever taken your kids to Brash?
I have not. Have you?
Mm-mm. Would you ever take your kids there?
It is not the ideal setup for my kids. I have seen kids there.
Have you?
And
Okay.
like, that's just like, when I see people bring their kids there, I'm just like, you're really committed, and I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, you get mad respect. You know, it's really funny. Like if you go onto Google right now and do a Google search of Brash Brewing Company, you know how they do like a Q&A on the side of the window? The first question someone asks is this place kid friendly? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Only if your kid is metal AF. I was like, that is super accurate.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So because of the evil vibe that they have going on their beer names, and some of their names are like not PG rated. My favorite one that they make is called Pussy Wagon.
Oh, that's a fantastic beer.
And it's the only one you go in the restaurant where sometimes on the menu it will be the P and then I have a bunch of asterisks after it. The P Wagon.
The P Wagon.
When we were there recently, and I will say if you go to Brash at this time of year, April, spring, sit out on the patio, it was fantastic. It's the time to go to Brash. Like now is the time to go. But we were there, me and Meredith, and I watched this group come in and they were all wearing matching shirts and it looked like it was a Christian group. And me being from Arkansas and seeing a lot of people try to pray away Harry Potter, I saw them and I turned to Meredith. I was like, I bet they're coming to protest Brash for their, And she's like, I bet they're here for a beer. And so we did like a little bet. And sure enough, they sat down and started drinking some beers. So that's how good they are, They're beer.
I would have thought they were there for both.
Yeah. Hey, I hate what you're doing, but can you pour me some of that Cortado?
Pour me some of that good shit.
Yeah.
All right, I need to crack a beer.
Do it. Ooh, nice. Do you want to tell us what we're drinking today, or you want me to take it?
You take it this time.
All right, so as we mentioned, the non-PG rated names from Brash, this one is called the Baddest Motherfucker, a Very Large Stout. And it has a caption at the bottom that says, maybe even the largest. Not that we are compensating for anything, just stating facts. I feel like that's a pretty bold name.
A power statement.
Yeah, they're basically they're just putting it all on the table right now and just saying, hey, this is it.
Let's see.
How many ABV did you say this bad boy was?
It was like 14 or 15%.
15% Russian Imperial Stout.
It's bringing it.
It is bringing it. So while we're letting this thing warm up, I do have one last Brash story that I got to tell you. And I don't think you've heard it before because it's a history of Brash and it has to do with beer politics.
Your specialty.
Absolutely. So for our new listeners, we had an episode a while back called The Politics of Beer where we talked about stupid laws. And I've got another one that we have not talked about. So
does it have to do with Arkansas?
No, I wish it did though. So friend of the show, Ryan, used to live in a neighborhood that butted up against the Brash. And so he, got to know the brewers and folks there. And so the owner of Brash used to own a really awesome craft beer bar in Houston called the Petrol Station. And fantastic place. Unfortunately, it shut down last year during COVID as a casualty of COVID. So Houston lost an awesome bar. But when they opened up Brash, there was a law at the time in Texas that said that you could not own a bar and a brewery at the same time.
Really?
They started the brewery and then found out what they were doing was illegal. And so for the first year of operation, they were making the beer and selling it outside of Texas because they couldn't legally be a brewery in Texas. Is that
so? They weren't selling beer at the brewery?
Right. So he was basically having to distribute it elsewhere, and it's because Texas wouldn't.
How does that even come about?
I don't like the only.
They're trying to prevent a monopoly. That's it. That's the only explanation.
Your explanation makes more sense. Mine was kind of like a state legislature just looking at each other and saying, hey, look, I did something. I made a law.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but I made one.
So I don't know if you realize this, but when you were describing Brash in that story, you called them the Brash.
The Brash?
Yeah. They've earned that.
They've earned the
respect.
And with this beer, it would be the in the capital letters.
Oh, yeah.
So do we want to kick it old school And while we're drinking this beer, we switch gears and talk about some kid sports and come back and hit the beers at the end. Let's do it. All right. So kids sports. My daughter is doing soccer. She's 8. And your son is doing t-ball. And how old is he?
He actually turns 6 in a couple of days.
And I think this is officially the first organized official sports that our kids have done like for more than like a week or two, right?
My kids have done soccer, but it was kind of like there wasn't actually games. It was just like
this is the first competitive.
It was grab ass soccer.
The official term. So ours is a competitive games. We've got a coach. He coaches them up once a week, gets them real riled up, and then they go into the game. And so,
is one of his kids on the team?
Yes, she is.
That would be like so intense if he was just a coach, independent of kids. He's like, no, I'm just here to coach.
It's funny though, because the coach's kid always gets coached harder than everyone else.
Oh, I know.
It's like, get on it, get on the ball.
So I actually step in and coach.
What?
From time to time.
Have you played baseball before?
Officially or unofficially?
Have you played past t-ball?
No. But I can stand at second base and yell at the kid at first base.
When to run or not.
Telling them to run to me.
You're better than me, man. I'm so happy that we have a coach on our team because I just look at that and I'm like, don't want to do it.
So t-ball is a whole different animal. Because in soccer, it's like you just run at the ball and try to kick it in the goal. But in t-ball, there's so many more elements and there's so much more downtime that like the kids just like look around and like
catch butterflies in the outfield.
Oh yeah. And like Caleb, like, so my oldest daughter, she's like in gymnastics, and so she's always doing like handstands at the house, and so like Caleb's always doing handstands in the outfield, and it's like,
has he ever been hit with a ball when he wasn't paying attention?
No, not yet. They don't hit it far enough to. It's like they're sitting there waiting for the kid who swings and misses 5 times before he hits it, and so then they hit it. And then everyone forgets what we do, and so you got to yell at the kids like, "Run to second base."
You have to get a lot of in-game coaching.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't make. I don't think the team would make it.
Yeah,
without me. So you have like 5 coaches. You have like a.
I kind of have like a theme that I see with you, where you always feel like you're a lot more important than you are.
It's not me. It's just the position.
The position. I got you.
The position of second base coach.
Assistant to the coach.
Assistant to the second base assistant coach.
So one thing I've noticed with kids sports, I've noticed there's like 3 main types of parents that I've witnessed. There's the one type of parent that's like super into the game, that's coaching their kids on the sideline in addition to their coach, and is the one that's like a little bit intense, and you're like, during the game, they're like, go, go, go. They really get into it. So that's one parent. Then there's the second parent, which is like completely checked out, like hanging out in their car on their cell phone, just like, I just get my kid away from me for like an hour while I like play Pokemon Go on my phone. And then the third type of parent that I've seen is like the new age parent that I'll call. And it's like, it's all about sportsmanship and teamwork. Did you have a good time? Did you have fun? Doesn't matter if we win or lose.
All that matters is effort.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in, there's the 4th type of parent.
Ooh, okay.
The snack parent.
Oh, the one that's always got the mad snacks?
Oh, yeah. It's like, there is that one parent that like, independent of the sport, the game, all they care about is bringing snacks and making sure everyone has something to drink and snacks.
They're the snack hero.
Yeah. It's like,
they got a trench coat, they open it up and just like pull out like Pringles.
Who needs a snack? We're in between innings. You need a snack? These kids can't even move. They're so full on snacks.
So with this topic, like what parent type do you think you fall under?
I'm the wannabe competitive parent.
Yeah.
But like my kids don't have the attention span. But like I'll always go out there like in the backyard trying to get him to like hit the ball and play catch and stuff. And it's tough.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome if he was just like hitting home runs every time.
Yeah. You'd feel a little bit of pride.
Oh, yeah. And it will happen. It's just a matter of time.
He'll hit the ball eventually.
Yeah. What about you?
You know, me and Meredith are on that new age shit.
Oh, God. That's what I was afraid of.
What's funny about it is it's completely against my nature. Like, I'm the competitive parent that like has to stop myself because Meredith's like stopping me, right? Like I want to be like, hey, Vivi, pay attention. You gotta, go after the ball. I'm trying to coach her, but then I'm trying to remember, oh, did you have a great time? It's like you put on a happy face and you're like, you did great today. You ran after that. You played hard. You played hard and you gave your teammate a high five. Yeah. I said your goal today is to get high fives from a couple of your teammates. Shameful.
That's embarrassing.
You know what the collateral damage is from that strategy? Is like she's on a team that's actually pretty good and they had won like 5 games in a row and they were undefeated. And she came after the game and was like, hey, Daddy, when are we going to have a chance to lose?
And I don't know how you look at yourself in the mirror.
That one hit me. That hit below the belt. I was like, honey, you'll have plenty of times to lose. Just take
with my genes, you'll have plenty of chances to lose.
Trust me, child. You got a lot of opportunities.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago at our T-ball game, just to put in perspective, it is so hard to get all these little kids to pay attention. And so some jerk off is sitting there flying his drone 15 feet above the infield. And I'm like, God damn it, put that fucking thing away. It's like independent of the drone, it's impossible for them to pay attention. Then there's like this drone like buzzing around, like whipping back and forth. It's like, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it's like if the ice cream truck drove by or something. That's essentially the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have a PSA for people who don't have kids. I need to warn them about some of the financial risk associated with putting your kids in sports. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
I actually don't, so do tell.
Okay. So myself, and I think you as well, have invested in your young kids playing a sport. You take them there and they refuse to participate.
Oh my God. Yes, I do know. The flaking kid.
Oh, the flaking kid. This was a couple of years ago when we were playing grab-ass soccer. And Caleb was so shy, he like refused to play. And so we're paying like a couple $100 for this little soccer league. And it's like we take him there and he throws a fit, cries, and it's like refuses to step more than 2 feet away from us.
Oh my God. What's funny is my youngest did the exact same thing on that exact same soccer program. She got so excited because the oldest was playing soccer. She's like, bought cleats. We got her all set up. She got her new ball. She played with me in the backyard. She's like, I can't wait for soccer. And then she got out there, same thing, would not leave us. We made her sit on the sideline with her teams. Like, if you're not going to play, just sit with your teammates. And we did that for 4 games, and then we just said, fuck it. And we just, the money sunk. Just, she's not playing.
Yeah. It's the same soccer league. I wonder if it's not a me and you parenting problem. I think it's a coaching problem.
Yeah. I don't think they were properly integrated into those teams.
Yeah. What about gear?
Are you talking about like getting the high dollar stuff, getting the bottom of the line? Like what's your strategy on gear?
You know my strategy is that bottom seller shit. Yeah. I need to see, before I start investing, I need to see like some real commitment from the kid.
Commitment or results?
I'll let you do the math there. I need to see home runs. I need to see him picking people off. I need to see him gunning them down from the outfield.
Big league chewing.
But it is funny because like we play this, it's like a kindergarten age T-ball. And there's these kids with like these $200 bags that they're like helmets and their bat comes in. It's like, dude, that's a little intense.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that like your kids grow out of stuff so fast, like I don't.
Oh, I know.
Just get the cheapest stuff you can.
I'm like, hey, can we have that bag when you're done with it?
When you get on that elite team, let's talk. The other thing I've thought was funny is I feel like the kids, at least at 8-year-old, I'm seeing what their future sportsmanship will look like as an older kid or getting into sports.
Yeah.
And so there's like some of the girls are like throwing bows and like really getting physical. There's another one that like when she gets beat, she'll run behind the person with the ball and she'll scream real loud, and it's, you got the ones that are the, I'm the best teammate. But then what I've wanted to see that I've not yet seen is I want to start seeing some flops. Some like colossal, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like kick my shin and like just hit the pavement.
So are they giving out penalties?
No, they kind of like let them throw it in. But I'm just waiting for someone to start flopping. That's going to make my entire weekend if someone starts flopping. So I have one last topic on this, and that is, since this is a beer podcast, we got to circle back to beer. Is it okay to drink during a kid's game or a kid's practice? What's your philosophy here?
I don't hate on drinking, so I there's really never a time where I'm going to say it's not okay to drink. But it's not okay to get drunk.
Yeah.
And I do have a story.
Oh, okay. I want to hear this one.
Okay. This was that famous soccer league that we've talked so much about. Thankfully, this is a drunk story that doesn't include me, one of the few.
One of the very few out there.
So I get there right on time. There is this guy drinking Fat Tires. And when I say drinking, that is an understatement. So he has a 6-pack and he dusts that whole 6-pack of Fat Tires in a 1-hour kids soccer practice.
Is he by himself?
He's there with his wife. But I could tell like his wife was like kind of embarrassed. Like, yeah, my husband is pounding these beers. Like,
I mean, if it was like Miller Lite or something, that's one thing. But like doing like 6 Fat Tires in an hour, like your stomach is pretty full at that point.
Oh my God. It was intense. And it's like, I just put in perspective, every 10 minutes, you're like, psh, psh, next one's opening.
That really puts like the power hour to shame. Cause I'm just thinking like the rate of consumption, that's like college level shit right there.
Oh, no. It was intense.
Was he coaching his kid on the sideline too, or was he just like trying to escape life right then? It's like, I'm checking out. Fat Tire. Wake me up in the morning.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, Mr. Fatty. But it was awesome. My wife and I still talk about it. And we see him in the neighborhood sometimes, and it's like, he's the Fat Tire guy.
Yeah.
Like
forever memorialized.
So have you ever drank at your kid's sporting event?
I don't think I have. But I did literally go to Vivi's soccer practice today, and I was talking to, one of the other dads, and we were like, man, it would be a really good afternoon for a pint. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before one of us brings a cooler and we crack a couple of beers there. It's practice. You talking about practice? All right, man, you want to talk about this beer? What do you think?
I think everyone's getting sick listening to our bullshit.
Let's bring on those ratings. All right, in case y'all have forgotten, we are drinking the baddest motherfucker, a very large stout by Brash Brewing in Houston, Texas. And so what do you think, Adam? Is this one bad mother?
It is one bad motherfucker.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, so let's talk details. What are you smelling? What are you seeing? What are you tasting?
Well, similar to most Brash beers, this is definitely a coffee bomb. I mean, it's coffee, but it's a little sweet when you first drink it. I don't know what the sweetness is. It's almost like a vanilla sweetness, but then it finishes pretty darn bitter. And if we remember, this was a 15% bad boy and you would not be able to tell. This is smoother than some of their other coffee stouts at less ABV, so almost silky smooth. What are you thinking?
It is, yeah, it drinks much lighter than a 15% for sure. I agree with the sweetness. I'm like having trouble like pinpointing what flavor, because like I don't really get vanilla, and I really don't get a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
And it's very roasty, slight bitterness. It has a really good, tasty coffee flavor to it. I've had some brash stouts that like have too much of like a roasty coffee flavor, but this I feel like is the
Burnt Folgers.
Burnt Folgers is what it's often called. But this one I feel like is the perfect blend of roastiness and coffee. And like I don't really feel like it's dominated by the coffee flavor. All right, I think it's time to get down to business, ladies and gentlemen. Drew, what is your Untapped rating of this beer?
I love me some brash stouts, and this is a pretty big motherfucker, if I must say so myself. I will say I do enjoy some of their milk stouts a little bit better, some of the sweeter stouts, but I definitely am going to go a 4.0 on this stout. What are you thinking?
I'm going a 4.25.
Heck yeah.
I don't like really sweet stouts, and so this was a really good one.
I think for a non-sweet stout, this was, and for 15%, you got to give them some
and
points
for it
that.
not being barrel aged.
Yeah, which is your go-to.
Which is my go-to. So like this is one of the better non-barrel aged stouts I've had in a while.
Awesome. Yeah, some of my favorites, I like their Cortado. I like Milk the Venom. That's the one that had a little bit of the peppers, the little bit of kick to it.
Oh, yeah.
Brash knows how to make stouts, man. Any type of stout, they know how to make them.
All right, so before we wrap up, do you want to give a preview of next episode?
So next episode, Adam took a voyage to the great city of San Antonio, and we're going to come back with a full San Antonio lineup. We're hitting the Riverwalk, the Alamo, whatever you name it. Can't wait for y'all to join us.
They're hooked.
It's going to be a great time. We're going to have metal music. It's going to be great. Oh, that 15% hits hard, bro.
Yeah. Well, this has been a very informative episode, according to our listener polls.
The best of both worlds. Kids and brash.
That is what we bring to the table. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next time.
This has been a Beering Ain't Easy production in Houston, Texas. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. And if you want to see what we're drinking, our Untapped handles are Beering Ain't Easy Adam and Beering Ain't Easy Drew.